If you haven't checked out the latest and greatest community event to hit Dreams, All Hallows Dreams has recently commenced. We explored the pumpkin patch and 3 creepy haunted houses, filled with community rooms on our recent live stream. Today, I wanted to give my brief thoughts and impressions on each room of the first haunted house. Hey, welcome to Little Big Animation. We are all about creating inspiring video games and animations to unleash your imagination, so you can realise your own creative dreams and share those with the world. We start off House 1 with a room which felt like a nice introduction, almost with a lobby style presentation. There were a couple of notes you could read, but sadly the text was too far back and small to read clearly. It wasn't until later that I realised that I could switch to first person mode using the touchpad. But even so, I found a few of these text issues throughout each house. The next room got things off to a bang, with some incredible details. I was immediately getting Nightmare on Elm Street vibes with the old boiler room, and impending doom of the gruesome creature on the other side of the fence. There were a couple of nice surprises in this room, so stick around for those. I can't really say too much for the third room, as it was more on the plain side. We have what looks like a demon's hand lighting the room on fire with a match. What a devilish arsonist. Who doesn't love dancing skeletons? This room was great fun, and very inventive with the moves on display. I mean, just look at this. I seemed to stumble across some sort of worshipping ritual. It was a little cramped, but I guess that was the point, to keep you in the heart of the ceremony. This room instantly reminded me of a section of the mausoleum from classic PS1 game and PS4 remake Medieval, with the skeleton playing the organ. I don't know if that was the intention, but it was a nice touch all the same. I was quite surprised by the next area, as it had a completely different design to all the rest. For a start, it was sci-fi themed, which added a nice touch of variety, and I don't think too many went for this style, so it did stand out. Bunny rabbits. And lots of them. Cute or creepy, you decide. A handful of sculpted characters were up next, including one with a very suggestive shape. The interesting thing about this room was that it seemed to be a showcase for assets, which you could find afterwards in the Dreamiverse to create your own spooky scene. Sadly, the tiny text issue crept in again, but the profile was easy enough to read that searching for that name, I assume, would bring up all of these assets. A very nature-filled room. Clearly someone hasn't been attending to it very well, or they have and just prefer plants over man-made structures. Next was a nicely decorated room with gargoyles and pumpkins suspended from the ceiling, giving off a homely Halloween vibe. You can't have a haunted house without a graveyard, right? And one indoors is even better. No more getting wet. I don't know what it is about babies and children in horror-related media, but it's fair to say they have mastered the art of making grown men and women soil themselves. I made the mistake of waking the baby. Don't wake the baby. The only way to leave this floor was to face my fear, and I'm happy to say that I did. After all the soil from the previous room, I would do anything to reset the scene and my underwear as a result. I was getting Silent Hill torture room vibes, so much that I just had to test out the brutality for myself. Come on, where's the Italian plumber when you need him? Aw, I wasn't expecting to be asked to a dinner date, but no thanks. Oh look, it's a carousel, filled with rideable dog skeletons. The horror. The horror! Great. More creepy baby rooms. I was given a choice, which seems like it was just a troll, as I was never really given a choice. Utilising LBP style lifts, I made my way out. This one really hit deep into my soul. Corrupted data. Can you imagine having all of your creations, which you've worked ever so hard on, completely wiped without a trace? Well, I can, as it's happened to me when some Dreams bug wiped my inventory system. Still haunts me to this day. Did someone say pumpkins? MM asked for 1 pumpkin submission, but I guess all the extra ones had to go somewhere, right? That's the first time a giant hand has given me a heart attack, and hopefully it's the last. This was one of the more creative and unexpected rooms of them all. After that fright, I think the only way to remove my fear was to just chill on the dance floor like a smooth criminal. They call this number the keyframe jam. I see you. No, literally, I see you. How could you not? It's a giant eyeball, and it can talk. Talk about talent. This room actually turned out to be very confusing as it loops on itself, so you could exit the room without seeing any of the other rooms on this floor, which is a real shame. A massive flaw when you consider the other rooms will suffer and there's no real purpose in having the loop. I did find this strange, so I played again and turned around to progress to the next room in the sequence, so be aware of this gimmick when you play for yourself. A little ancient Doom-style corridor, which was attached to all the confusion, eventually links to the preceding rooms. Some Dreams promo now, with the vengeful eyes. If I remember correctly, you must survive in a closed shopping centre with a monster hot on your tail. Another ghoul playing the piano, but this time with a twist. You must collect each of the notes to unlock an optional sequence. This floor started off well, with a very detailed and nicely composed scene. The colours were great, and even though nothing about it was spooky, it still fit in well with the aesthetic. What's up with dancing in haunted houses? Seriously, I'm absolutely knackered. This is very ominous. I feel as though I'm about to initiate myself into a cult. At first I thought this was just a plain, green room, but oh look, there's something over there, and up there. To compensate for this, the next room literally filled the room to the brim. I liked the flock of bats that flew around the room too. Can we say flock, or is it swarm? I guess we'll never know. It's fair to say that the artwork on the wall is very suggestive, to say the least. This room tasks you with finding corpse feet, which are hidden around the environment, as well as the inclusion of an obstacle jumping minigame, which I was just awful at. Crop fields. Love them or hate them, but they certainly know how to give me the claustrophobic creeps. Some more Dream and account promo, this time from the baldest of bald wizards around. Here's the thing about this room. The idea is amazing, it's beautifully crafted, but what the hell is that from the other room? Completely took my attention away. But with that aside, yes, we have a nicely animated ghostly tea party. Yeah, so about that room in the distance. Getting closer just makes it even more weirder. I don't know if I'm hungry or if my stomach is just going through the motions. Either way, a delicious entry. Now it's time for the frightening rooms. Apparently. How Typhus's room wasn't included in here, I'll never know. Okay, there's a clown. Now I understand the warning. Clowns aren't that bad, are they? Okay, this dude has clearly lost the plot after witnessing that massive floating clown head. Not only do you hit me with spiders, but another clown? And some freaky ass zombies? There's only so much my little heart can take. This was a crazy one. I feel as though there was a puzzle to solve, but all I could focus on was how stressful it must be to have breakfast with this family. It had a lot of voice acting too, which was a fun touch. What Christmas would look like in a haunted house. Anyone? I don't know what's scarier. The big ass spider on the wall, or the tiny menacing ones running around. Gives me the shivers. Perhaps I was supposed to stick around in this room long enough to see something appear, but from my initial entrance it seemed to be a creepy hotel room. I never thought I'd live to see the day a duck gets strung up to slowly bleed to death. 2020 has been some year. I see this is where the victims of that spider room were taken shortly after. Oh, and look, their suspended bodies can swing around. How delightful. Just as with the sci-fi themed room, we have a Japanese theme, which stands out from the pack as it wasn't done before. Poor victim though. I know one thing, I won't be sticking around at night to wait for any floating lady to make an appearance. See ya. This is straight out of the Psycho Handbook. But then there's a ghostly fish. Oh, and don't forget about the creepy doll lurking behind me. And where have these spiders been breeding? They are everywhere. I'm getting very old school LBP vibes from this room. We can't forget that eyeball decoration anytime soon. I think it's only appropriate to end on an extreme high, or an extreme low if you have a fear of floating dead twins. This asylum has some dark secrets, and I don't want to ask too many questions. Time to go, I think. That's everything from Haunted House number 1. Make sure to check out the full review of Houses 2 and 3 next once they are up on the channel. What did you think of this house? Did any of the rooms catch your eye? Let's discuss down in the comments below, and subscribe if you're new here. We are all about creating inspiring video games and animations to unleash your imagination, so you can realise your own creative dreams and share those with the world. If you'd like to support us on our quest to provide you with the very best inspiring content, consider clicking the join button right next to the subscribe button below to become a channel member, which comes with additional exclusive perks such as early access to demos, behind the scenes content, your name in the credits, along with custom channel badges and emojis. You can also explore our Patreon page by visiting patreon.com/littlebiganimation, or head over to our Teespring store if you'd like to get your hands on some cool new merch, which are added regularly. All links can be found in the description below. Thank you. Would you like to see even more inspiring content? Click on one of our videos on your screen now. You can also subscribe by clicking on our little red imp. See you in the next Dreams video.